environmental movement in general, it's kind of like religion. There's a lot of guilt associated with it, you know. There's so much I'm not doing, there's so much I haven't done, and I really passionately believe that that's placing our focus and our energy, and as Leslie likes to say, our intention in the wrong place. I think we can shift that and focus on the things that we can do and the things that we are doing, and have that energy and those successes kind of propel us forward to do a little bit more, and then propel us, our neighbors, forward. Hey, did you know you could put a seed in the ground? Piece of cake, no judgment, not, hey, you haven't put a seed in the ground yet. You know, that it's a slightly different shift on how we can kind of move this entire movement forward. So, I guess that's all.
Thanks so much, Kelly.
Sure.
Oh, you do?
No, thank you.
Just to support what you're saying, we didn't know what we were doing. We finally, after years of thinking about it, put a few raised beds on the side of the house. And just started with a couple of things: lettuce, 4 or 5 types; greens, 4 or 5 types. And I can't tell you how exciting it is when you get to the point where you every day can go out and, you know, it's 10 minutes till you want to have lunch, and you harvest your whatever lettuce or greens you want, and in a few minutes it's the tastiest, just incredible. And we actually had to contact somebody who's really good at this to come take a look at the place and get the advice. That helped us move on.
Sure.
We had just been waiting for ourselves totally. So I hope there are resources like that for people who need a step up in the beginning, have someone come out and make a few recommendations. Here's where you get your dirt. Here's how I recommend you do your bed. You know.
Sure. And there are a number of resources. One in particular sitting right next to us, Bill's Hall, is a wonderful wealth of not only knowledge but resources out at City Farmer. Then you also have Victory Gardens, which is one of the nonprofits that I volunteer with. We try to go out and help teach people how to grow food in homes, community gardens, and in school gardens. And it's basically that. How can we assist you? How can we move this forward? And then, like I said, like for instance, Mel Lyons and Julia Dash, they introduced me to an entire community of people that have their niche expertise that are just so supportive and giving their knowledge. And the more that we continue to find community with other like-minded individuals, the more we're able to share that information. And I've been really grateful for that experience. I feel like I, in some ways, got more than my fair share of you know, people being really giving. So I'm actually trying to do that where I can here too. But yeah. And what you're saying about harvesting your own food, last night I harvested my very first broccoli head. It was awesome. It was really cool. I didn't know they were so big. It was so amazing.
I was just going to ask if you had any books that you found that were really helpful. Now I know there are some out there for just starting up your garden. Did you use any at all, or internet resources?
I didn't do, for my garden, I didn't do internet resources. Victory Gardens actually came to my house, and they helped me with that. With the chickens, because we started with chickens first, like I said, type A. But we went to backyardchickens.com. I found to be a really helpful resource. There's a lot of members on that now, so the information that you get is starting to get a little bit diluted. But if you have patience and are willing to really look through that, I mean, it's people trying things on and, you know, sometimes succeeding, sometimes failing. And so you're getting the lessons from that they've, yeah. So that's a format that I really like, you know, kind of connecting with people. So that's what started for me.
Can you give us some examples of the types of foods you like? I mean, what you have in mind in the near future that you want to harvest besides broccoli? I mean, I understand you said it was your first thing you harvest, but
Bill, what?
I can answer that. Pretty much in San Diego, you can grow anything. Generally, if you look around and think what's seasonal logically, you know, like like we talked earlier about the cool season, more of the leafy stuff and things, and just ask questions when you're going to go and plant stuff. I would stay away from books, and the only reason I would is because most books are published not in this area. And we're unique because there's not a single food that can't be grown in San Diego. And you start reading books and you start looking at them, you get a lot of different information from other areas. So I would stick with the networking, with the talking to people that are in the industry or that are doing it themselves. You'll get a lot more pertinent information for local stuff here.
I'd like to share a couple thoughts. So first, what Shelley was saying, as far as this connection, I've lived on the same property since the early 80s. It's only located 4 blocks from here. And it makes such a big difference to live with trees and to live by the season of a tree. Like I want to share with you an orange that we just picked this morning off of our orange tree. And it's like sometimes, I'd like to acknowledge some of my housemates. There's Anna Barnell, who I live with, and I live with about 8 other people a couple blocks from here, and we're actually looking for some new housemates coming up. But to experience trees that are yours, and to feel the season, it's like an old friend coming back every year, you know, when things flower. And for 3 years in a row, I've had hummingbirds in this tree. And they keep getting more and more comfortable to the point that I can take pictures of them and get really close. And to watch the rhythm of our seasons and to realize that plants are the essence. They're not something distant from us. Plants are the center of a healthy economy. Soil is the basis of the foundation of a spiritual life. And when I say spiritual, I mean a connected life. So I want to pass these around. Would you like to maybe share these with people? Just taste this orange and feel how connected this orange is. This is an orange that was picked today. No one rushed it. No one. It's not a commercial orange. You could actually eat the rind if you wanted, or you can make a compote out of the rind. And then I'd like to send around another one of my friends, and it's got a, it's kind of hard for me not to get mystical when you have certain plants that you become associated with. Like, look how these little flowers, they almost look like little fairies. And look at this fragrance. This is called the Scented Geranium from South Africa. And you know, emotions and senses, you could change your world and your reality in 15 seconds with aromas. Like if you feel depressed, or if you just have a couple plants growing in a container, like I would recommend start with a beet and connect with that. Or tell your friends, if you're already growing food, try out this project. Just Google beekeepers. Beekeepers. I've actually spent hundreds of hours blogging for you on this conference, and there is more that you could read. If you could take a whole weekend, I've been researching Raj Patal, I've been researching every area, and if you just go to Beekeepers, you'll find all the links. And there's also a 2010 food justice site on Facebook that, is anybody here on that site? Okay, well go to that site.
Leslie, can you just clarify that it's Beet Keepers, not
Beekeepers, Beekeepers. And I'd also like to acknowledge, this is Krista Kale Walker, who's been, she came over yesterday and helped set up all the plants. And there's such a difference that happens to transform people's lives when you get connected with some plants. Like, for instance, just adopting one little plant like this. Like, you take a beet, you get it from the farmer, you put it in a pot. This is Malaki's plant that he put. And I asked you each to take some seeds out. I'm just going to briefly do this. Those seeds that I asked you to take out, would you just hold those seeds in your hand? Take those seeds out. And would you just imagine a different world of food justice, and imagine your own personal dream? It's like, there's nobody that we can look to be the leader of this world. Nobody. It's only each person is